Welcome back, everybody. It's Latin's Fight Picks. Today we will be doing something a little different. I'm not filming this on a computer, just on my phone. I want to see how this works. We'll be going over the fights that's happening today, which is Garry versus Prates. So let's start. It's going to be just a quick pick video for everybody out there. We'll start with prelims. All right, Chelsea Chandler, Jocelyn Edwards. The pick is going to be Jocelyn Edwards. Be very careful with this fight. It always ends up a little closer than you think. Minus 275. I'm not sure if it's worth the bet, but Edwards will be the pick. Tamik Kwamba versus Roberto Romero. This is a pick'em fight at the moment. I don't know. They're both pretty good, but I think Romero's got him covered on this. I think he's got the power, and I think Kwamba has shown susceptibility to getting tagged and hurt, not necessarily knocked out. So Romero's going to be the pick. Jacqueline Emery versus Polyana Viana. I went back and forth on this one. I'm always looking for good dog shots. I mean, the Amarin should be able to win grappling heavy exchange with Viana because they're both grapplers. And Viana does like going to the ground as well. But if Viana kept it on the feet, she'd probably have a better advantage, even though Emery has improved on her striking. I'm spending a lot of time on this fight for a reason. But I think at the end, looking at the odds at minus 100, seeing the size difference with Viana, I think Vienna's going to have a size advantage and possibly a strength advantage. And I think Emery's only fought girls that are smaller than her. And even with Hughes, I think they were the same size. I think she's a little larger than 5'3". But nevertheless, Viana is at least 2 inches taller. I'm going to go for the dog shot. Even though I'm thinking Amarin's going to win, the bet's going to be on Viana. I don't know if I could outright pick Viana. Well, I'm betting on Viana. So you can call it picking Viana or whatever you want to call it. So it's the least confident pick, but stranger things have happened. At plus 550, you can't go wrong. I think there's going to be areas where it's going to be very dicey, and Viana could get lucky and win this. So Viana, let's say Viana's the pick. Malcolm Wellmaker versus Cameron Simon. Simon, he's very young, he's improving. So I mean, what we saw last time might be a better version of him. This time, we know he's tough, he's durable, he's well-rounded. I'm sure he's working on his skills. I'm going to be picking him, so he's going to be the slight underdog. But Wellmaker's new. We don't really know that much about him. He seems tough, throws big punches. But you know what? I'm going to pick Simon. Again, underdog. Damon Blackshear, Alatang Lee. Be careful with this one. Alatang Lee is always you know what? The guy can surprise you, but I think the size difference and the height difference, Blackshear should be able to take this, even though a couple times he has, lost some fights. He has lost them to really high-level competition. Blackshear's going to be the pick at minus 500, 550, or whatever it is. Probably not bettable. So Chris Gutierrez versus John Castaneda. Chris Gutierrez is going to be the pick. I think he's going to be a little longer, a little taller, and he's just going to outpoint him. He's going to point fight him, and Castaneda's going to have to try get in on him. And it's a matter of, is Castaneda's grappling good enough to put Gutierrez down and keep him down? I think that it's going to be dicey, but I think Gutierrez is going to win by decision. Very close decision. Moving on, Evan Elder versus Gage Young. Gage Young, super tough, super durable, can take a lot of punishment. So does Evan Elder. I think Evan Elder is going to be I think he's more well-rounded, even though Gage Young is well-rounded. This is going to be a close fight. But Elder should be the pick. I think he's had some bad luck in a couple of fights, and he's fought a decent level of competition. So Elder's going to be the pick. Matt Schnell versus Jimmy Flick. Kept going back and forth. Well, not too far back and forth, but Jimmy Flick's so dangerous, and as long as Matt Schnell doesn't do anything stupid, he should be able to win this fight on the feet. So Matt Schnell is going to be the pick. But Flick is always that guy that can submit anybody if they're dumb. And I don't know how smart Schnell is, so Schnell's going to be the pick. Moving on to the main card, Ikram Alascara versus Andre Muniz. I went back and forth on this one. I wanted to pick Andre Muniz. He's a huge underdog. And I think he's going to be a little bit more difficult than we think for Alaskarov. He's going to have the size, he's going to have the reach, he's good on the ground, he's a dangerous grappler. He could maybe control Alaskarov and win some points. But I think Alaskarov is going to be too powerful and too aggressive. He's a huge favorite, not bettable, but Alaskarov is going to be the pick. Randy Vernon versus Nicholas Dalby. You know what? Straight up, Nicholas Dalby's always putting up a good fight with these guys. And Randy Brown's going to have the advantage, he's going to have the reach advantage. Dalby just finds a way, and he's very aggressive. I really like Dalby. I totally got a respect for him, but at 40 years old, we don't know when he's going to slow down. But he is a decent underdog. I'm picking Dalby for the upset. Michael Pereira versus Abus Magomedov. This is a pretty close fight in odds. I think Pereira's got this one covered. Pereira's going to be the pick. Giga Chikadze versus David Onama. Giga Chikadze is the underdog. Onama, you know what? Onama is super tough, super durable. He seems like he's really improving his ground skills. But this is the highest level opponent he's fought at 36 years old. Chikadze might be a little over the hill. It's hard to tell, but he's very dangerous on the feet. I'm going to go for the dog shot with Chikadze. I know he missed weight, but I think that as far as being on the feet, and Onama's got a decent sized jab, I think this is the tallest guy Onama has faced. So he might have some problems. Chikadze is a really good point fighter and striker. They both don't throw a lot of volume. So Chikadze is going to be the pick. Anthony Smith versus Zhang Mingyang. I've been picking Zhang Mingyang nonstop. I love the guy. I think he's tough. He's durable. He goes in, throws big haymakers, very aggressive. But he's fighting Smith. Smith is not aggressive. Smith is not going to engage with him. Smith is going to try, suck him into his inside and, possibly hit him back and avoid his big shots and possibly take him down. Mingyang has been taken down. He has been able to bounce back up, but he fought the lowest level of opponents as far as that's concerned. Anthony Smith's going to be the highest level grappler he's ever faced. And given the odds, Anthony's going to be the pick. I could just say Ming Yang's the pick and bet on Smith. I'm just going to straight out pick Smith. And he could easily get knocked out. So either Smith's going to not get knocked out or Ming Yang is going to get submitted. And given the odds, I'm just picking Smith. He's got a lot of experience. He did it last time. I think that he could possibly do it again. Smith's going to be the pick. Low level confidence. Very, very low. Just a little bit higher than Vienna. So at the bottom. Ian Machado Garry versus Carlos Prates. These odds are closer than I thought. I'm going to pick Garry. I don't even like Garry, but I'm picking Garry. But after I saw his performance against Shafkat, I got new respect for Garry. And I don't know if Prates is a great striker, but I don't know if he's well-rounded enough when he gets to this super upper echelon. And I know Garry is now. So Gary's going to be the pick. All right. Once again, not financial advice. Bet what you can only afford to lose. Do your own research. And I've definitely picked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 underdogs on this card, and one pick 'em. That's so. I like picking underdogs, and as long as some come through, we're definitely doing great. But again, do your own research. Good luck on the fights. Sorry for getting this video out so late, but we will see you guys on the next one. Thanks. Oh, by the way, hit like if you like the content. Subscribe if you want to get notified when the videos come out, just because I'm all over the place on this right now. And leave a comment in the comment section, please. Thank you.